What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video I will be doing a breakdown of my previous week. We're gonna call it a week recap of what happened or what my experience was in the market last week. So on Monday, after we had this retracement back to the upside, and then this major zone was being respected. This is a major, like, previous support that is now currently acting as resistance. So we had a sort of like an head and shoulder pattern formation, right? I'm just gonna call it that. So what I'm looking out for basically is for this major low, this major structure to be taken out. So I've already put on a replay button, and let's play. So once we add this close below, based off of my strategy, if I go to the 15 minutes time frame, this already sort of like gave me a confirmation to take a sell setup, right? So if I'm going to draw my trend line, I have this as well as this. So I got into a sell somewhere here, with my stop loss above this previous structure, somewhere around there. So initially market sort of like went into my direction for some time, and then when this formation sort of started, I have one rule that when I get into the early periods of my trade, depending on what time I'm entering, I usually let it play out. But when I see sort of like price action behavior that are going against my predicted direction, I have reasons to close the trade. But for now, I didn't, because market just sort of like kept on playing around, formed a bullish engulfing, as you can see here, formed a bullish engulfing candle, and then there was no follow through to the upside, right? Because the two candles that followed were bearish candles with wick. So I sort of like, okay, let's see how it plays out. And then market just sort of like played around my entry for some time, formed another inside bar formation here, and still didn't sell, right? So this was already some sort of like indication for me to close my trade, that market is not going in the direction I predicted. So I did close the trade somewhere here on some of my accounts, and then I left the other trade to keep running. On my smaller account, I closed the trade. On the bigger account, I let it keep running to just sort of like see what's going to happen. So now, as you can see, this trend line is sort of like broken, and then if we go to the 1 hour time frame, we're going to see that it looks as if this area now is respecting, like the area is not being taken out. So eventually I got stopped out in the trade, which is gonna show in a bit now. So I think it was the next morning, on Wednesday morning. On Wednesday morning I got stopped out, and then immediately sort of like retraced back. So that was like a -1%. It did go like sell again and then came back. So I just felt like maybe market was ranging in a 50 pip range, and I didn't just get that information at that particular point to understand that I should be trading this particular market action, this particular price action, as a range and not as a trending market anymore. So pretty much I just left GU for the rest of the week, and then I went over to GJ to take a trade. So that was it. I hit stop loss, and then the market for the rest of the week was just playing around this 50 pip range. It didn't go anywhere in far off, so it was just between this range all through, and eventually when the week sort of like closed, yeah, I had something here that I'm looking out for, which is like a channel. Let me just stop the replay and show you guys what I'm talking about. So current market price, now I'm seeing something like this. I'm seeing something like this on the market, right? So who knows? We don't know. Anything can happen in the market, but this is what I'm currently seeing. And usually, you know, this was a very good uptrend, and then we have done this. Based off of this, it could end up breaking as maybe a continuation pattern, because usually this is a continuation pattern in an uptrend. So if this continues this way, and then maybe we break up and a retest and then keep going to the upside. But for now, I'm sort of like neutral on GU, and I'm just leaving it for the time being. Yeah. My decision will be based off of what is going to happen in the new week in terms of like fundamentals of what Trump is doing, his policies and all of those things. If it's going to bring more strength to the dollar or it's going to weaken it. So for GJ, my trade on GJ, it was quite a funny one, to be very honest, because I had been on the trades also since Tuesday, and I'm just gonna do a quick breakdown of what made me take the trade, right? So if we go to the daily time frame, the way I interpreted this was that it seems as if market is in a sort of a range, very big one in fact then. But what was the previous major move? It was this downward move, right? And there was a structure above here. I did take a buy somewhere here, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, last week I took a buy from somewhere here up until this moment, and then I covered my position. So what I did was I drew a Fibonacci retracement tool from here, from the swing high to the swing low on the daily time frame, to see, okay, I have a structure above here, this a major structure here, and then it's also like a confluence with the 61.8 area. So that gave me like a formation to be looking out for sales on the lower time frame. So I went on the 4 hour to look at what was happening. As you can see, this structure is a very strong one. It has tested a lot of times, touch here, touch here, touch here. So my interpretation was that I'm going to be waiting to see what the market reaction will be off of this zone. Initially there was this, no trend line was there, it was just this major one. So when market opened on Sunday night, we had a gap down, and then the gap was closed. So this was the gap down, and then the gap was closed after we had this immediate weak rejection, which is a doji, which sort of like showed that sellers are here in this moment with a little bit of strength. But I was not convinced enough to take a trade based off of that on Monday. So I just kept on watching, and then we had like this good move to the downside of about maybe 200 pips. Yeah, about 200 pips plus, and then came back to this major structure. Now this major structure here has been like sort of like stressed me out on my previous buy trade, because as you can see here and here, it was a very funny moment. So that area sort of like gave me some issues. I didn't properly interpret what the market was doing well enough. So back to the trade. So when I saw this, I was waiting for a retest, right, of the origin of the trade. The origin, as far as I'm concerned, is when this structure was broken. The origin of the previous sale, when this structure was broken, right? So when market came to this area, I put a pending order for a sell, but to look at the reaction of what's going to happen there. So I'm going to play it now, and when market did this, I had a confirmation to want to go for a sell, right? So I put a pending order in, and then I let the trade start this thing. So I got triggered here, and then market started doing its thing, played around my entry for some time, but eventually it didn't go near my stop loss enough, and I just left it to keep playing. So once this structure below was taken out, I was looking to add another position and then move my stop loss into break even based off of my strategy. So once a break below the zone, I added another position just right there as it came to retest, added another position, moved my stop loss into break even. You can see it came close to my stop loss, but I was not moved. I was ready to accept whatever was going to happen. So it kept on playing and it was all looking good and great. My initial target, which was where I would say I sort of like got greedy and I paid the price for it, was based off of the 4 hour. What I was looking out for was, all right, potential of this structure here coming to get this this zone to come test. So I was looking out for that area, right? And market did indeed come close, because I was also looking at, there's also like a for there was also like this area that market has previously acted on. So I was waiting for what was going to happen there, and once market came to this area, when I saw the reaction of this zone, I was sort of like I started getting skeptical, because when I see weak rejections like this and it's more than 30 pips, it's usually indication that there's a little bit of presence in that area. So market came close to this area, and then I already moved my stop loss into break even. So my TP was about 50 pips away, and the mistake I did here was having like a rigid and stubborn sort of like behavior towards what I was seeing, because usually also this formation here is to show that, as you can see, it did like it has closed below the zone, but then it retraced back up. So I didn't pay enough attention to that place, right? This was where I should have covered my position and just get out. At this point, I was in profit of about 6% on my account, because if you can see here, this was a 1 to 3.8, and this second entry of 1% each was about 1 to 3.6. So I was up 6-7% on the account, but one of the accounts was initially in drawdown, one was about to get passed, and so eventually when market did this, I was sort of like having an expectation that probably it should come retest, right? So eventually when this happened, when I saw this, I interpreted this as inverse head and shoulder. So this and this, I interpreted it as inverse head and shoulders, right? And this was the neckline. So when I saw this, I just covered my position. I closed out at the end of the day for about a 1 to 3, while initially in profit of 1 to 7. So, but yeah, I feel like there is more to do for me in terms of like my exit strategy, and not having like this very rigid approach to it has to ease stop loss, it has to ease TP and all of those things. So eventually market did still come back, but as you can see, it just seems as if there is no decision enough to what direction the market is going to. If you also notice, I'm not going too much to the lower time frame, because I'm more of like a in between a day trader and a swing trader. I like to hold my trades. Most of the time I get my entry on the 15 minutes, but I'm majorly looking at the 1 hour and the 4 hour to manage my trades, and then I'm looking to hold my trades for maybe the whole week, a lot of times the whole week, and then I cover my position usually Thursday or Friday. Yeah, so Pretty much that's it for my weekly recap. My big lesson here was to sort of like be more flexible in my approach to what I'm doing. My strategy is good. My executions are great, and what I just need to grow and improve on is my exit strategy. What am I looking at? What are the behaviors of the market? There is need for extreme flexibility as a trader, right? You, even in as much as we set rules, we make rules and stuff for ourselves like that. There are so many situations, like I'm gonna call them scenarios, right? Where you have to play out. If market does this, what are you going to do? If market play out as much or as many scenarios as possible that you can play out in your head before getting into a trade, so that at the end of the day it's not going to be too crazy for you to deal with. So also this sort of like also built like another level of pain threshold for me, because a lot of traders, they want to close out that trade so early. They are in profit of about 1 to 6, 1 to 7, whatever, and they want to close. But as far as I'm concerned, the way I trade, I like to maximize my positions, scale into my positions, and what I'm currently learning now is how to also scale out of the positions, how to take profits in the right manner, maybe take partials, maybe take half position, or close all at a part, or close one entry at a particular position, all of those things. So it's gradual growth, and then every day is a lesson. Every day is things to keep growing and to keep getting better on. And yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I appreciate you for watching. Thank you so much. Peace.